Hey, everybody, I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report in Los Angeles, and I'm really excited to welcome Renzo from The Voice to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Renzo, how are you doing?
I'm so great. I'm so well. Thank you for having me here. It is a huge honor.
I am thrilled that you're here, and that was a fantastic blind audition of Lynyrd Skynyrd's Simple Man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
John turned first for you, and in the process, blocked Adam, who might have been a natural choice for you, given your love for alternative and R&B. Were you aware of that when you were performing, and what were you thinking as your whole song went down on stage?
It's so funny. You're asking the $1 million question, and I had no clue because of the way that the whole thing was filmed. What you guys didn't see was there was a moment where I kind of had my eyes closed and I was like into the song, and I just kind of happened to open them when the camera turned back to me, and I didn't realize that John had turned around. But what I also didn't realize even further was that he had blocked Adam, and that's why my reaction was like what the hell just happened? Because I had no idea, and it was like it was crazy. It was a wild moment.
No, it really was. And John was so proud of himself for doing it, I could
Right.
tell. But given the choice that you then had between Michael, who'd also turned around, and John, and how hard they fought for you, what factors went into your decision to go with Team Legend?
Yeah. So right off the bat, John is a guy that was played in my household when I was younger. As a lot of people may not know, Greenlight, his song Greenlight was my prom song. And my mom and I played his Evolver album nonstop. I mean, we played Get Lifted and, all of his other stuff as well. But the Evolver album, when he kind of like transitioned into like more pop, R&B, I don't know, it just took our family by storm and we listened to the album nonstop. So even just being on the show with John Legend already was a full circle moment. It was a no brainer when he, turned his chair around. Yeah, it was a no brainer.
So, being so familiar and so into his career and his music, what are you most looking forward to learning from John?
I think one of the most important things I think is the idea of being a musician as well as a singer, as well as a writer, and as well as a producer. Since I do all those things for myself and for others, he's a guy that has written songs for other artists. He's produced for himself, written for himself, and obviously he's a guy that plays an instrument and sings. So we have a lot of those things in common, and I think I can learn how to, I don't want to say juggle, but just kind of balance all of those things because it's not easy being a writer and having people pull you and want to work on their project when you have your project to work on, or the simple thing of like making sure that you're keeping eye contact with your audience when you're playing an instrument, because sometimes you get lost when you're doing both. You get to your happy place and you just get lost. So I've seen him perform many, many times, and I think, being close to him like this now, him being my coach, is just a way for me to learn even more from him.
And who are some of your other musical influences?
Oh man, yeah. So I'm a huge fan of. We'll go the rock side first. So I'm a huge fan of like Chris Cornell, Soundgarden, Nirvana, even like some of the earlier, the later stuff like My Chemical Romance, The Used, Green Day. I love all that stuff. And then there's the other side of it where it's your Michael Jacksons and your Prince, your Stevie Wonders. Donny Hathaway is my favorite singer of all time. Just hands down. Boys to Men. So like I really have that like perfect merger. And it doesn't really go too far outside of, those two genres as far as like my favorite artists.
I am with you on that. But I do have to kind of take a sidestep and ask you about your amazing hairstyle.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so my hair actually started as kind of like a stress reliever. You never seen people like do this, like they're kind of thinking, or they're deep in their thoughts and they're just kind of like twisting their hair. I had a short cut and my hair was like growing a little bit, and I just hadn't gotten a haircut. And so I just started like twisting, little bits and pieces right here, just started twisting it. And eventually like my whole head kind of just turned into like these little mini twists. And then I was like, okay, this is cool. So I would just kind of like get a little line up here and there, and I didn't cut it. And then eventually they turned into, what my daughter called these, little worms. We used to joke and call them little worms. That I went through the worm stage. And then eventually it grew into what it is now. This is like, I don't know. There's something about my hair that gives me, power and confidence and personality, beyond just who I am as a father, husband, son. Like it really is, I think, what Renzo represents. I don't know, pineapple, volcano. You know what I mean? Like it's that, but it's also like freedom. It just speaks like, freedom, being yourself, like that. Those are the things. I often call it like Super Saiyan. Like if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z, like it looks like a Super Saiyan hairstyle almost. So yeah, that's where the hairstyle comes from.
I love it. And I cannot wait to see what is next for you on The Voice, Renzo. I want to wrap up our happy hour by lifting a toast to you and your continued success on the show.
Thank you so much, Hillary. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.